Okay, we're here with Tiahna, and we are working on absolute values with inequalities. It's just simply compound inequalities it turns into. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it, and I'm going to have you do the writing. Okay. So when we're working with absolute value, before we can change it into a compound inequality, we have to get rid of all the terms outside. Okay, so how can we get rid of this -3?
You distribute the 3 to the 2x and the -4.
Okay, but remember first, these aren't parentheses, okay? So we're looking at these as a separate expression. There's another way we can get rid of the -3. Okay, this is -3 times whatever is inside here, right?
Right.
Okay, so what's the inverse operation of multiply?
Dividing.
So we can divide by -3, but remember, whatever we do one side, we must do the other. Okay,
Right.
so go ahead and divide both sides by -3.
3.
Okay, so then what happens here?
They
Very
go
good.
away. So
Okay,
you
so
just
go
have the 2x minus 4, and that'd become a 4, right?
Okay, yes. Okay, now be careful. Remember, whenever you divide by a negative term, what happens with our inequality?
You flip it.
Very good. So go ahead and let's erase that and reverse that. Okay, so now we have absolute value of 2x minus 4 is less than 4. How can we change that to a compound?
Can add the 4 on both sides, right?
Okay,
Or,
let me show you real quick. Okay, so this is basically saying that this is 2x minus 4, the absolute value, the distance from 4. Now,
Right.
if I'm at 0, think of 0. Okay, here's 0. If I take the absolute value of -4, what does that give me?
the absolute value of -4 would be 4.
Okay, what's the absolute value of 4?
4.
Right, so there's actually two directions I can go in. That when I take the absolute value of it, it gives me 4, right?
Right.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to rewrite this as a compound inequality between -4 and +4.
Oh.
Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and solve this, but you got to remember it's a compound. Not only is 2x minus 4 is going to be greater than -4,
Right.
it's also going to be less than +4, right? Okay, so now let's put some dotted lines here, because remember, whatever you do in the middle, you got to do to both sides also. So now you're going to go ahead and solve it like you did an equation.
All right.
You got to get rid of that and subtract 4.
I'm going to add 4 here
Very
and
good.
here, and that'd give you 8. You'd have another, oh wait, that would be 0.
Very good. Let's go ahead and erase that. Good.
0, 8, and then you have your 2x.
Okay. Now how do I get rid of this 2 right here?
You divide by 2.
Okay.
Ah.
Now, this looks a little tricky, but 0 divided by anything is
0.
0. Okay, so this
So-
gives me 0.
And then you just have your x,
Very good.
and 8 would be 4.
Very good. Okay, so now we kind of ran out of room here, so I'm going to go ahead and write over here. We have 0 is less than x less than +4.
Right.
Right? So how would I graph this on a number line?
Let me
You
see
want to
here.
write your solutions. What values will make this a true statement?
What values will make that? So you could have 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, so we know it's between 0
Mm-hmm.
and it's between +4.
Right.
Does it include the terms?
No,
How do you know that?
because it's not a inequality. It's a
Well, it doesn't have the line underneath it, right?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have the line in it, that means it doesn't include those two terms. Okay, so I'm going to do a
open circle.
open circle. And where do I shade to make that, to show me what the solutions are?
Just right
In
here.
between here. Very good. So you're going to just shade in between here. All right? And the way you can test is you could choose a number in between 0 and 4 and plug it into the inequality to see if it makes a true statement. Right? All right. Good job. That was a tough one.